driver. Say hello. All right, we all ready to see some animals? Yay! Is on them to protect them from damage, but when the antlers reach their full height, they will rub them South America. But when they became domestic for about 6 months, and grow with spots, and then lose them after they get old. Fallow deer keep their problem because not only are elephants so majestic, they are also what we call a keystone species. And some grazing animals like our zebras over there, but not females are usually a darker brown in color. And unlike the Rio we saw, in which only the male took care of the eggs, both male and female ostriches will take care of them. Sometimes they'll usually have up to 20 or 30 in a single sitting. Alright, I'm posting on our left here. We have the Asian water buffalo. Now you may be wondering what the Asian species is doing in the Africa section. Well, as their name implies, water buffalo are heavily dependent upon water, as it's their way of keeping cool. So, here in the Africa section, there's more bottles of pools than any other place on the safari. So we like to keep them here. Alright, on our right, you'll see more of our angel. Is the zebra white with black stripes or black with white stripes? Got black with white stripes, you are correct, because if you look very closely, the zebra's muzzle is black. But personally, I think there's 50 shades of gray in between. Last here we have the white rhino. Now, despite their name, they are actually not white. When the first settlers saw them, they thought their lips were wide, so they called them wide rhinos. Apparently, there was a miscommunication. There's been a 56% decline in giraffe populations across Africa, and behind them we have another critically endangered species, the scimitar horned oryx. They get their name because their sword is sort of like a scimitar, which is a kind of sword. Now, there was a point where they were actually extinct in the wild. One consists of all females, and one is a mix of both male and female. Looks like it's our female pride that's out in the main exhibit today. Does anyone lion prides can consist of up to 4 to as many as 50 animals. And now the females are the ones that do most of the hunting, while the male's job is to protect the territory from other males. Cubs. Lion cubs are actually born with spots when they're first born, and but they lose their spots after they age. This pride over here today will be in this exhibit tomorrow. Now, a lion. Now, probably the most famous thing about lions is their roar. Now, cubs that were actually born less than a few months ago. Now, there's some climbing in the back tree over there. Black bears usually give birth to around 2 to 4 cubs at a time. They're less than a pound in weight when they're born, and they can't see or hear anything. And a fun fact, when their hooves are also a bit longer than most other antelope. That helps them get extra grip on the wet ground. Of course, we also have another one of our babies here. When they're born, newborn giraffes drop 6 feet to the ground. Now, it may seem painful, but it actually helps. But I also like this area. I also call this area the smell zone, as it is pretty smelly. So I would recommend holding your noses. Oh, I just love them when they're relaxed poses. We also put little enrichment items at the bottom of the pond for them to play with as well. Now, these two exhibits may look separate, but there's actually a tunnel underneath which the bears can access. Oh, and on our right here you can see another set of newborn cubs. Now, these cubs were born less than a few months ago. Just like the just like with the black bears, when they're born, they can't see or hear anything, and they are highly dependent on their mother for the first few years of their life. Cats in the world, weighing as much as 800 pounds. These 5 are all cubs. They were actually raised in one litter by one of our females. And you know, there are only around 500 Siberian tigers left in the world today. In fact, when the female gave birth to these 5 cubs, it raised the whole Siberian tiger population of 1 full percent. So we actually have 1 full percent of the Siberian tiger population right here at Six Flags. Now, if you want to help us find some baby lambs here, now despite their name, Barbary sheep are not related to bush sheep. They're actually more related to mountain goats. A good thing too, since they live on the mostly live on rocky slopes. Their hooves actually have a spongy texture on it to help grip rocks.